You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV welcomes you to our coverage of the Tech Beach Retreat Regional Roadshow Mixer right here at Regis in New Kingston under the theme, The Future of Tech in the Caribbean. I'm your host, Amita Pasadbe. Please stay tuned for highlights.
Welcome, one and all. Firstly, apologies. I was planning to wear my tux today, but we were really working up to the last minute before you came to get this center up and running. There's still a few minor touches for us to put on, but I hope you like what you see. So you are here at Regis. We are the world's largest provider of workplace solutions, ranging from products for if you work from home and you just want a more professional image for your business, if you need to pop in to use a meeting room, or for our core products, which are office space. Fully furnished, or, bells and whistles included, from your telecoms, IT, even down to your gourmet coffee or during the day. So if you want to have a look to see what we have to offer, please grab one of the Regis team, and we'll be happy to show you around. We also have some goodie bags for you to take away when you leave. And in them, you would have a free lounge pass. So we want you to come and test out our product. If you want to leave your business cards, we will be also doing a prize draw for a free meeting room for a day. And also, we're running a promotion. So anyone that signs up for Office Space before the end of November, signs up for at least 6 months, we will give you 3 additional months free of charge. So that's a 33% discount. So looking forward to seeing all of those opportunities and those business cards flying in. So thank you very much for popping down, and please grab one of the team if you want to have a look around.
You know, I did a self-guided tour by myself around the space earlier this evening. And, you know, I am shocked at how many offices are in here. It is insane. So when you imagine all of these offices being filled with entrepreneurs and businesses all doing work and the kind of energy that can happen in this space, you really know that we're creating something special here. So thank you again, Darren. And now, Kirk, no wine for you, because I'm going to introduce you right now, the man of the evening, who is going to moderate our panel and introduce our panelists, Kirk Hamilton.
Some people in the room may be asking, what is Tech Beach? I always am fascinated but also thankful when people are willing to come out and hear about something that they have not much a clue of. So that's appreciated. Tech Beach is a platform designed to really set firm an ecosystem in the Caribbean around technology and innovation. Most of us in this room are savvy individuals within the corporate world or business world, or we're entrepreneurs, and we all yearn for a different Jamaica, a different Caribbean. A Caribbean that is forward-thinking, a Caribbean that is faster-paced, a Caribbean that ideas can thrive in, and so someone can come up with something and turn it into even more. And as a 32-year-old individual, I always say to people that the challenge I've faced is, for my 3 decades on Earth, the Jamaica I know, as wonderful as it is, has never seen economic growth in any meaningful way, and I've never witnessed transformation. We're now starting to see a change on the island, and we're very excited about it, but what we feel needs to happen is there needs to be greater levels of opportunity for collaboration. There needs to be obviously greater levels of access to capital, but a lot of times we talk about these things without understanding the fundamentals of how these elements interact and how these things come together and really help to create a true economy, right? There's a conversation nowadays in Jamaica increasingly about inclusive growth. You'll hear that term over and over and over. I'll share with you as we step into this panel discussion and as I give you a little insight into Tech Beach. I usually say to people that a lot of these terminologies come into play in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean 5 or 10 years too late. No different than when we talk about technological innovations and such like that. And so if you think about what inclusivity really means, ultimately we're starting a conversation that says outside the walls of this gathering, there are people who should be involved in our economy who for some reason, for just about all of our entire lives, have been left out of the conversation. And it is suddenly happening that our private sector is acknowledging the reality that the more people who can buy my product in a sustainable manner, the better off I am, right? Personally, I don't think it's rocket science, but it is a shift and a trend that has happened in the world that has actually led to the creation of a lot of the platforms that we aspire to and want to see be successful in the region. So when you think about platforms like Airbnb and Uber and the conveniences that these things deliver to us, ultimately they're built on the pillar of inclusive growth, because what they're saying is we can democratize an industry, bring more people into it by utilizing technology to bring down the costs.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
The theme of tonight was, or is, the future of technology in the Caribbean. And I'll just go ahead and try to shape the conversation, but ultimately, you know, within Tech Beach, we deal with a lot of emerging technologies that seemingly are shifting the conversation and changing the landscape around the world. And what we really want to look at this evening is, where are we now? Where can we be? And I don't think it would actually hurt to discuss a bit where we're coming from. And I'll just set the tone by saying I think we've come a long way despite the way that we have to go.
I recently started my own tech company, Innovate 10X. I do believe it's a world of digital opportunities right now. I've had left my safety of my 9-to-5 job. I had a very senior position at JMMB. And I think it was about time for me to look and see where I could actually, you know, see where I could make use of these opportunities. And the way I see it now, especially in the Caribbean, and I'll include the Latin American market, you're talking about 40 million people, right? And most of the solutions, digital solutions worldwide, if people buy them and try to implement them, they typically just don't work. Because what works in another country, their unique situation, is different from what exists in the Caribbean. And therefore, I see where there are opportunities for us in the Caribbean to still learn from what's going on elsewhere in the world, to partner with those that have actually gone before us and bring those solutions to the region.
Being within the ICD group, which you can explain to folks the makeup of the ICD group, but being within an organization like that that has been around for a long time, you're charged with leading transformation there, which includes a digital focus. I guess at an enterprise level, what do you see happening, especially within an enterprise level organization that has been around?
Right. Okay, so thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, everybody's plugged in. Great. So I think the perspective that I bring is actually a bit more unique than just being inside of ICD Group, because most of my working career has been away. And so I've been with ICD for the last 5 years, really charged with, as Kirk has said, transformation. And it started out as digital, but then what we had to create inside is what I think most companies here in Jamaica are missing the mark on, and that is recognizing that in order for digital transformation to be successful, there's a significant amount of people and cultural transformation that has to take place first. And why I say that I think that a lot of corporations are missing that is because outside of even digital transformation, I don't find that in Jamaica there is a significant amount of investment in people and culture, at least not when compared to other countries that I've worked in. And what happens is they tend to push the technology first, push for the change. You know, we need to automate, and you know, we have too many of these things not working, and too much paper, and too many books, and all of that. And so the CIOs will drop a new piece of technology in and say, okay, use that, right? And then everybody's like, okay, make my life more hell, why don't you, right? And so what I've discovered is that if you can enroll the leadership of the organization in where you're headed, from what does transformation look like when you actually have it, right? Then you can help with getting the people that have to actually deliver that transformation to help you get there.
Lauren, I'd like you to give us, from the kind of startup perspective, especially in the age of bringing in completely new solutions into the market, what you see happening in the landscape and how you see things going at the moment.
All right, thanks, Kirk, and good night, everyone. So I'm Lauren Pearton, I'm the CEO of Blue Dot, and we are a decision support services company. In other words, we provide insights via research and data to our clients. You asked initially, where we're coming from, and I think that, like you and I had discussions before, I think it's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur in Jamaica right now. I think there's a lot of opportunities that are present now, especially that were not present when I started Blue Dot 4 years ago, or even when I first went to the Branson Center in 2013 as a little hustler. So, just things such as venture capital or angel investment, or even just capital and was non-existent. And now we have all of this capital that's available for young entrepreneurs like myself. SSL, they just invested in us, thanks Lamar. And the outlook is really good.
What I would get to know is, I think everyone on this panel can actually give some insight into technologies that you think will drive the transformation in Jamaica. And this is definitely very open prediction, this is not a class, but I would love to hear from you all, as we hear about things like artificial intelligence and the blockchain and such like that.
Before we get into that, I always have to raise this issue. So in Jamaica, it is nearly impossible to register IP that is not a portion or some sort of mechanical device, because the Patent Act is from 1860-something. So I think that's a good segue, because that is a prohibitor of tech here. It is nearly impossible, and I'm hoping that some people help me to lobby the government for that, from that point of view.
Okay, great. So I think that it's really more basic types of technology that are going to really kickstart things here. And I say that because, so I brought Laren in a couple of times to pitch to different entities within the group. So for those of you that don't know, ICD has 9 groups within the portfolio now, right? And for the more traditional legacy companies, data is really, really, really important. And so I find that any type of technology that has to do with business intelligence or analytics, I think that type of technology will be quite foundational and is something that people can buy into because they get it. They see how it's going to benefit their businesses. And so I think that he's actually in a great space. So anything that is doing analysis, I think for sure.
I think cloud technologies is where it is. So the larger corporations, they would have gotten a head start because they're big, they have the large IT budget, they have this CRM system, Oracle financial systems and all that. The small enterprise, if they're smart, they can sign up maybe $30 a month US and have a very good CRM system for 5 users or an accounting system that rivals what some of these large organizations are doing. So you can actually have a very efficient organization that rivals the technology that other the larger institutions may have. The cloud technology, like Google technology in terms of sharing and collaboration, that's actually available to everybody. So a lot of these business people, they're so busy, dealing with the sales and the accounting. Again, that's opportunities for entrepreneurs and tech companies to work with these small enterprises and show them that, look, I can really make it a lot more efficient. Robotic process automation has taken on like wildfire over there. It's like where you're giving each person their own personal robot. That's how they're actually pitching it now. But this, again, is cloud-based technology.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Regis is the global leader in service offices. So service offices here at Regis is all about flexible workspaces and flexible working. So businesses, young startups, entrepreneurs, or existing businesses who are looking for ready-to-use serviced offices where you pay one invoice a month and it's all-inclusive. This is the place for you. Whether it's a 4-person outfit or a 20-person business, you can get an office for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, and our office space is our core product. On top of our kind of core product of office space, we have the virtual office where we will manage your mail, we will manage your answering, we'll manage your telephone, so telephone answering, mail management, and depending on your level of needs, your level of requirements, we have different types of virtual office products. We also have meeting rooms, so clients in the center who need a boardroom or need a project meeting room, they can rent that for a half a day, for an hour, for 2 hours, and they get a discount as clients here. But it's also open to non-clients who need meeting rooms and want a very professional and productive environment. We provide that service too. And then we've got Business Lounge membership, and that membership allows you access to 3,000 Regis lounges right across the world. So if you're a member here, if you're in Miami or London or New York or Singapore, you can go to Regis Centre, you'll turn on your laptop and you'll connect to the Wi-Fi seamlessly. In addition to that, we've got co-working if you just want to rent a desk by the month. We also offer that service. So there's a lot of flexible working solutions and workspaces for the modern day business person, the modern day businesses. So when you look at what we have in our centres in Barbados or in London or in Trinidad or in Hong Kong, we get a diverse mix of businesses. So we're very excited about launching here in Jamaica, launching here in New Kingston. And in a few weeks' time, we'll start to see the community here develop. And we'll start to see a nice thriving business centre happening here. It's going to be very interesting, the types of customers and the types of clients we get coming in our door.
So tonight we explored what is happening in the global landscape from a technology and innovation perspective and the possibilities for development here in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. How these new innovations are affecting the global business environment, how it's affecting us. Ultimately, we started a discussion on how people in the Caribbean can start building their own solutions, what needs to happen for companies to start going from zero to big enterprise in little to no time, in the way that we've seen things happen with organizations that we all know like Airbnb, Uber, and such like that, which in many cases didn't exist 10, even 15 years ago. Ultimately, what we offer is an all-inclusive campus-style environment where the best in the Caribbean meet the best in the world. And the idea generally is that people are able to connect in a very meaningful way. It's a very immersive experience. We primarily explore emerging technologies, right? So we've sparked a conversation that is not very typical in Jamaica. Things like blockchain technology, robotics, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality. But we look at them from a very practical level. What is happening in business, how things are shifting, and what we are known for is our ability to attract the best in the world, the best in industry in these spaces, right? Including, of course, our very own best in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean as well, right? So some of the speakers include people like Michelle Romano, who's a Dragon on Dragon's Den, and also the founder of a company called Clearbank. Founder of Vonage, a gentleman by the name of Jeff Pulver, who's joining our platform for the second time. We have people coming from companies like MasterCard, Airbnb, Google, Facebook, and such like that. We actually have an official Facebook workshop happening at Tech Beach for digital marketers. But then on the other side, we have people like Nadine Matthews from NCB, who's leading the transformation of Jamaica's largest bank. We have people like the CEO of JMB Bank, Jerome Smalling. We have the CEO of BCIC Insurance, which is doing they're doing a lot of interesting things in the insurance space. A gentleman by the name of Peter Levy. So we also tend to look at what is happening on the ground and try and bring those conversations to the table as well, and give them a global platform to share what they're doing with the rest of the world.
So we're here tonight at the Tech Beach Retreat. Mixa, your thoughts?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, what Tech Beach is really good at is bringing the discussion that's happening at Silicon Valley and other places to Kingston, to Jamaica, and we did that again tonight. I mean, we talked a lot about how can we incorporate blockchain and AI into technology and into companies in Jamaica, and the insights that the panel gave were really, really good. So,
all right. Talk to us about Tech Beach itself. You've been before.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I've been every year that it has happened, and every year I can't walk away from the panels that are there because it's so engrossing to have the quality and the caliber of the people that are discussing at a very high level these changes that are going to affect every single human being for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So it's not missable at all. If you're interested in the trends in tech and the future of tech, you have to go to Tech Beach. There's nowhere else to go. Yeah.
The center, Branson Center officially moved to Kingston in 2017 after being Mobay since 2011. How was the transition and why?
It's been really fantastic because 70% of our entrepreneurs are actually based in Kingston, all of our partners, the media, etc. So we feel like we've really had more of an impact and we're more integrated into the entrepreneurship ecosystem being based here in the business hub of Jamaica. And I think we actually also changed our strategy to target scale-up entrepreneurs, growth stage entrepreneurs instead of startups, and that has had really amazing results. Lauren is one of our entrepreneurs. He was on a panel here. He got a great investment this year from SSL Ventures too. And we have a lot of other entrepreneurs like that are investment ready, and you're going to see a lot more of them in the coming months.
What are your thoughts about the Tech Beach Retreat mixer this evening?
I think it's excellent. This is my first time here at the Mingle, and it would be my first time going to the retreat soon. I feel like it's a family here, brothers and sisters, very like-minded persons, and I'm excited to learn. I mean, I'll contribute where I can, but it's really about learning and sharing where we can, you know.
As someone that has a tech-based business, what would you say are some big challenges that are facing, I guess, startup businesses within the technology industry?
Well, you know, a lot of one of the challenges, especially for small businesses, is knowing what is out there. So researching what's the best systems available to you to meet your needs. From a simple point-of-sale system, there are so many out there you can buy, from the hardware to the software, etc. Those are challenges in and of itself. Another thing that maybe, you know, companies don't really pay close attention to is like security. To be really conscious of the risks involved with what you do take on board with your business. So there are a number of others, but those are two ones that jump to mind.
So talk to us about Growth Tech. What is it that you guys do?
Well, Growth Tech is a company that was conceptualized in 2016. So what we're doing is pretty much spreading connectivity in Jamaica, making connectivity like oxygen available to everyone everywhere. And with that, it segues nicely into this Tech Beach event, where they speak a lot about creating an ecosystem of technology to foster growth in Jamaica.
So talk to us about your company, Innovate 10X.
Okay, Innovate 10X is a passion of mine, where I'm actually looking at helping companies go along their digital transformation. So we know that there's a lot of technology out there. There's artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data. It's all happening now. It's now becoming mainstream. But 95% of companies in Jamaica doesn't understand anything about the technology, literally. They're still struggling with accounts payables, inventory management, basic CRM, much less to worry about, where new and emerging technology can help them along their journey.
The panel discussion earlier spoke to challenges within our tech industry here. What would you say is one of the bigger ones?
It's actually still a matter of a lack of funding. I think most banks or people with the capital don't understand how to fund technology. They're still looking like a physical asset, a motor vehicle, a real estate. A funding a tech business. That's a big problem, because tech business is usually built on an idea that you want to produce something that is software based. It's not something that's it's tangible, something that you can actually touch and feel, right? But we need more people to understand that, to be able to invest in it and feel comfortable that if you stick with the entrepreneur, if they're very determined, you're like to actually make a very good return. Similar like if you're investing in a manufacturing or a distribution company.
And that's it for Business Access TV's coverage of the Tech Beach Retreat Regional Roadshow Mixer right here at Regis in New Kingston. I've been your host, Amita Prasad-Webb, and thanks for tuning in. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business. Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more. No more crime.
On the spread today, details on the TEF Summer Internship Program. We see how today's young people are gaining work experience while being paid. Also between the pages, a reflection on the life of one of our national heroes who fought for our freedom, Samuel Sharp, as we gear up for Emancipation Day. Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us. There's much to know and learn.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, July 30. Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter says the signing of the Foreign Exchange Global Code by key financial market stakeholders represents a timely and important step in advancing the country's economic development. The code provides a common set of guidelines for all authorized foreign exchange trading entities developed by the Bank for International Settlements, BIS. It was signed on Monday by the Jamaica Bankers Association and the Cambio Association of Jamaica.
This historic signing reflects our aims for Jamaica to have a robust, fair, liquid, open, and transparent market for foreign exchange.
According to Mr. Winter, the code promotes the integrity, transparency, and effective functioning of the foreign exchange market, which is vital to the global financial system. By their signing, financial institutions have committed to upholding the 6 leading principles of ethics, governance, execution, information sharing, risk management and compliance, and the confirmation and settlement process. The code's adoption is among the foreign exchange market reforms initiated by the central bank in 2017 to enhance the efficiency and transparency of Jamaica's financial market. Both houses of parliament have now approved a 90-day extension of the states of public emergency in St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover until October 28. Following the House of Representatives' lead, the Senate gave assent on Friday. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., piloted the motion in the upper house. He said the enhanced security measures had been yielding positive outcomes across the parishes, including a high decline in murders and shootings.
This is the most effective measure that has been utilized to treat with murders in our country ever before as it has been operated. Now, we have learned many lessons, and we have improved the way that the security forces have operated and guided the policy decisions and revisions of how we execute these states of emergencies. And cumulatively, all of these have added value to the effectiveness of these measures.
The SOEs were declared in the parishes by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on April 30. Still in the Senate, the Information and Communications Technology Authority Act was also approved on Friday with one amendment. The bill seeks to improve the use of technology across government ministries through the establishment of the Information and Communications Technology ICT Authority. This body will consolidate the functions of eGov Jamaica and the Office of the Chief Information Officer.
The mandate of the authority will be to streamline ICT spend, to drive efficiency, to reduce the unnecessary bureaucracy, and to improve service delivery across and within public bodies, thus changing the way citizens interact with the government and vice versa.
The Senate's single amendment to the legislation calls for the appointment of a 9-member board to the ICT authority. Persons in Western Jamaica will experience their own Grand Gala event on Independence Day at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex in Montego Bay. News of the staging was revealed by Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange at a recent JIS think tank.
For Western Jamaica, it's the first time that they will have an Independence Village that is built out almost similar to the Independence Village in Kingston. They will have a gala event, which also is a presentation almost similar to the one in Kingston, where they will have over 200 dancers and other participants on the field at Catherine Hall.
According to Minister Grange, island-wide activities are scheduled to celebrate our independence. Details can be viewed at jcdc.gov.jm. It includes the Independence Village, which opens on August 1 in Kingston and culminates with fireworks on August 6. And finally, Raldine Dyer is the winner of the 2019 JCDC Festival Song Competition with his song Big Up Jamaica. Raldine received a combined $2.6 million for winning and songwriting, as well as for Best Performance and Best Vocalist. The finals took place on Saturday at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. Second place went to Alera Peria with her song Queen Jamaica. Jerome Smith walked away with third place for his song Embassy Appointment. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, join us in helping to make Jamaica a safer place for all. Log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Up next, the latest happenings out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister signs tar disposal MOU with Carb Cement towards corporate area Hope projects and delivers 37 housing solutions in St. Catherine. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. The news in detail next. At the start of the work week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Carb Cement Company Limited. The agreement will see the company disposing of 1.5 to 2 million tars from the Riverton City landfill. Tars will be incinerated in a managed process in a kiln to provide some form of energy. The pilot project, which will run for the next 40 days, has the National Solid Waste Management Authority supplying Carb Cement with 5 truckloads of tars per day. According to the Prime Minister, the Ministries of Economic Growth and Local Government will assume the cost of unloading the tars, while Carb Cement will cover the cost of offloading.
After 40 days, we will have a better understanding of how this logistics and cost structure works, and then we will proceed with a more long-term memorandum of understanding, probably agreement contract in place.
Before the signing, Mr. Holness held a courtesy call with executives of Carb Cement. Outgoing General Manager Peter Donkersloot-Ponce introduced the Prime Minister to incoming General Manager Yago Castro Itzagire. Mr. Itzagire assumes leadership of the region's leading cement company on August 1. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister extended congratulations to the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland's new Prime Minister Boris Johnson. In a congratulatory letter, Mr. Holness wished Mr. Johnson's government wisdom, vision and courage to achieve development, prosperity and security. He also committed Jamaica to continuing its close collaboration with the country on critical issues such as climate change, human rights, and justice.
I'm very satisfied and I'm very happy to see the program come to this point where we can now say we have tested it, it has worked, and we are now going to bring the program to the institutional phase where it will be a constant feature of the development of Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he toured Hope projects in the corporate area last Wednesday. Mr. Holness said the $1 billion housing component of the program would be rolled out shortly as the administrative elements had been completed. He said the opportunities and production aspects were also being developed. Launched in 2017, Hope targets unattached 18 to 24-year-olds and has already benefited 28,000 youth. An additional 6,000 are being engaged through the program. By Thursday, the Prime Minister was sharing Jamaica's perspectives on the maritime space at the 25th anniversary session of the International Seabed Authority. As the seat of the authority, Mr. Holness said Jamaica was far advanced with legislation to comply with all the relevant international rules and best environmental practices in seabed exploration. The pledge follows the government's recent agreement with Blue Minerals Jamaica Limited. Under that agreement, an application will be made to the International Seabed Authority for an exploration license for polymetallic nodules in international waters.
We are encouraged with the work that is being undertaken on the enterprise. The operationalization of the enterprise will present developing countries with much needed opportunities for participating in deep seabed mining.
Thursday also saw Prime Minister Holness at Seawood Primary and Junior High School. He was there to officially open the institution's new playground ahead of the upcoming academic year. Mr. Holness used the opening to pledge support for the purchase of a school bus.
I'm going to make a contribution through the CDF as Member of Parliament to your school bus fund, and then I'm going to make a contribution from my own foundation, Positive Jamaica Foundation, towards your school bus. Anyone else who is moved by that, please join me.
And on Friday, the Prime Minister was at Mary's Field in St. Catherine to hand over housing solutions. The newly built Spanish Ridge scheme is a national housing trust development consisting of 37 2- and 1-bedroom units and 7 serviced lots. The 2-bedroom units will sell for $12 million each, while a bedroom unit is to cost $12 million. Among the serviced lots, 4 premium ones cost $3.7 million each, while 3 standard lots are going for $2.8 million. Mr. Holness told the gathering that the NHD had started or completed 11,198 housing solutions since 2017. He added that the agency would be starting 2,689 more housing units by next month.
The NHD is following the mandate that they have been given, which is build house, build house, build house, and don't stop build house.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Are you a small to medium-sized tourism enterprise? Borrow up to $25 million at an interest rate of 5%. You can use the funding to develop and maintain your infrastructure, upgrade or increase your capacity, enhance and expand your attraction, tour or event, and purchase raw material. Call the Exim Bank and ask about the Tourism SMTE loan. Their numbers are 876-630-1400 or 876-618-5889. Tap into the over $3 billion earned yearly through tourism with a SMTE loan.
The summer holiday is not all about beach and partying. For many young people, it's an opportunity to gain valuable work experience while being off from school. The Tourism Enhancement Fund is one of several entities helping to fulfill this desire of the next generation of workers. See now how young people across the country are using their summer wisely.
My name is Monique Marbier. I am a beneficiary of the Tourism Enhancement Fund Summer Internship Program.
I'm Shamar Clark, and I'm a beneficiary of the TEF Summer Internship Program. I'm now employed to Sagicor as a financial advisor. I think it's an excellent program that has assisted me to get to where I'm at right now.
For more than a decade, hundreds of future leaders have been receiving valuable work experience through the Tourism Enhancement Fund Summer Internship Program.
The TEF Summer Internship Program is designed to provide an opportunity for our young Jamaicans to get exposure to tourism in the first instance, but as we've expanded it over the years, we provide them to exposure just to being in the working world, preferably in the service industry, where they can see the opportunities that tourism provides as far as a career opportunity is concerned. We believe that it helps in multiple ways. You know, one, it provides an income for our young people. Two, it gives them that exposure. And three, it benefits the actual corporations and hotels and businesses that will have the extra hand and expertise during the summer months.
Each year, between January and March, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, issues a call for students to apply for the internship positions. The fund partners with approximately 100 companies island-wide. Each intern works for a period of 3 weeks during the summer. The interns are paid by the fund up to $10,000 per week. It all started with an idea to provide upper secondary level and tertiary students with the skills to function well in the workplace.
We started in 2007 and we started with 80 students.
Since then, graduates of the internship program have transitioned to permanent posts in diverse occupations. Several of them are excelling in their careers, holding top-ranking positions. But they have not forgotten where it started.
What was surprising for me, I thought that I was going to work in the office, but when I went there, they told me that based on what I did at school, they would be sending me to a hotel to work. So I went to the Courtly Hotel and Suites as a part of the program. It was actually very good. When I went to Courtly, within like 3 weeks of being there, they said they liked my demeanor, so they wanted me to spend the whole summer. They asked me to stay on permanently. So I worked there on Sundays, and if they had like special functions, they asked me to come as well. When I had completed university, I told them that I was ready to work full-time, so they sent me to the Knutsford Court Hotel as a trainee food and beverage supervisor. Me actually working at Tourism Enhancement Fund, it gave me a big start to actually like go into the industry.
This was literally my first experience, yes, as a job. And so going in it, I was like, okay, let's see how I can grow from this experience. And trust me, I've become so confident. It is not even funny. I've become so bolder. I was immediately placed at the front line. I was immediately given the responsibility of doing different tasks that their administrators were already doing. At the end of the program, when they realized that I was doing a great job at it, they asked if it is that I was available to work full-time. I am responsible for the administrative persons.
I started working at High Trust at about 18, 19. I believe it was a summer, so I was almost going to be 19. So I walked in and I was thrusted into a project. Started to do some of the reconciliation throughout the 6 weeks. Even after the 6-week program had finished, High Trust kept me on. So right now, I'm one of the top insurance professionals in the country. Possibly if I hadn't been a part of the program, it wouldn't have been the same.
The current batch of interns are hoping to excel as well, to uphold with high standard the TEF brand and to achieve their career goals.
The Tourism Enhancement Fund has partnered with Eden Gardens over the years, and they have just had a great relationship because we are a group of companies. There's also Environmental Health Foundation. They have an intern. There's also in Medicanja, we have the interns doing sales calls, they're doing graphic arts, they're doing a lot of administrative work. We also have someone working in the accounts department, acting as an accounting clerk, and she did such a great job that she actually started full-time here with us as soon as her TEF tenure had ended. There's also Eden Gardens, the front desk. So right now we have an intern answering the phone calls, helping to coordinate the events, just being that customer service person. This is my first year having interns from TEF in any job that I've been in, and they have been excellent. I mean, each student has just been phenomenal. The caliber that TEF brings on definitely speak volume.
Being placed in the Medicanja department has really helped me with my people skills. I've been having a lot of experience with marketing, customer service.
Since being here, I have done marketing, I've done graphics, I've done finances, I have done the whole works. So I've developed new skills actually.
Past and current interns have singled out the mandatory orientation workshop prior to being placed within the workplace as one of the main reasons why they stand out from other summer workers.
Orientation takes them through how to handle customers, how to deal with telephone. We teach them how to do teamwork, how to work together as a team. They're taught how to dress, and more importantly, how to win the hearts of the employers.
TEF interns are regarded as being professional. As I said, that was the mantra of it. So when you're going into the organization, they're looking at you like, all right, this is a creme de la creme, this is a cream of the crop.
The handouts that were given to you, when I got home, I immediately read through, and so I got a little bit more knowledge as to what is expected of me.
We have seen where our numbers of permanent employment have been growing each year. And that tells me that what we are offering them, what we're saying to them, is really impacting.
For the most part, and still in our culture, most persons grow up not necessarily being directed into tourism careers. You know, if there's a child in the community that's really brilliant, good at science, for instance, they usually steer them into becoming a doctor or an engineer, not necessarily a tourism-related expert. Yet, tourism is the #1 industry, and as I said, it's employing over 120,000 Jamaicans. And what we find in the industry too is that a lot of times when you get to the top of the ladder, a lot of those expertise are then hired in from overseas, you see, and it's an unfortunate situation that needs to be corrected. We're hoping that this summer internship program will yield many more interested tertiary educated students to look at tourism as a valid career option.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit, ornamental, or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree Campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
Summer school, swimming, karate, things that keep them occupied like that.
It's not really me keeping them occupied, it's mostly the mother. I have work, so I'm out, she's there, so she mostly has them. Ball field sometimes, in the evening mostly the ball field, but during the day, that water and so forth, so mostly around moist place and cool place.
I come up with some games, and then we have the art and craft days, and then the mother is keeping like we call it now home VBS. So she form a kit and let them explore, give them a lot of things and come up with some game by themselves.
Books, keep them cool and everything. That's it.
I carry out to beach and I make sure have fun for the holiday.
Buy books and video game and let them watch it.
I give her gadgets, sometimes play school with her. He's going to summer school and stadium sports summer camp.
We are 2 days shy of our emancipation anniversary, a day on which we reflect on the role of freedom fighters. Next, a tribute to the great man, Samuel Daddy Sharp.
Think on this. How would you feel if Sunday is your regular rest day off from work, but just because Christmas Day falls on that day, your boss unilaterally decides you do not deserve an extra day of rest? Added to that, the previous Christmas you were entitled to 3 days off during the season, but months before this particular holiday, a law was passed giving only 2 days. This is the kind of injustice and ill treatment that was meted out to Samuel Sharp. Up to 1830, the enslaved were allowed 3 days holiday at Christmas. In February 1831, the House of Assembly passed a law reducing Christmas holidays from 3 to 2, Christmas and Boxing Day only. Since Christmas Day 1831 fell on Sunday, a rest day, Sharp believed that they were entitled to the following Tuesday. A strike ensued. The resistance to work ballooned into what history records as the Christmas Rebellion, the ill-fated event that helped pave the way to freedom. Born about 1780, Sam Sharp was the slave of an English lawyer in Montego Bay, St. James. Sharp was the lay deacon of the Birchall Baptist Church and became a leader in the congregation. Sam Daddy Sharp, saw the injustices of slavery and inspired his fellow brothers and sisters to participate in Jamaica's first strike action. There were no labor laws at that time that spoke to the rights or privileges of slaves. Sharp may be considered a forerunner to the labor movement as he fought for the rights of his fellow workers. For this, Samuel Sharp was hanged on May 23, 1832. But as he said,
"I would rather die upon yonder gallows than live in slavery."
In 1834, the Abolition Bill was passed by the British Parliament, and in 1838, slavery was abolished.
Raldine Loaded Eagle Dyer is the 2019 Jamaica Festival song winner. His winning entry, Big Up Jamaica, will become the theme song for Jamaica's 57th anniversary of independence. Dyer took home the coveted title at the 2019 Jamaica Festival Song Competition's grand final on Saturday night. Come, let's sing along to this year's independence theme. Watch this.
Help me big up Jamaica. Big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Them how we jump down the island in the sun. If you want some fun, Jamaica we second to none. Give me the jelly water, what cannot be make run down. The reggae beers with the drum, we sugar cane make the best white rum. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Out of many, we are one. We little bit, but we strong. You see a boat, big up Shelly Ann. Black, gold and green in a few yarn. Me love the cocoa with me young. You know see you be woman them strong. Our love never change. We love Portia Sims, so we love Babsy Brain. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica. Show your hand if you love me slow. Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley too. Edward Seaga, man live it true. Tourists a fly back a yard for the food. So hey, Mr. Pilot, me a beg a change back the route. Me a head back a yard. Me neighbor fi give me 2 breadfruit. Help me big up Jamaica. We are one for Jamaica. We not run left Jamaica. We just love with Jamaica.
The magazine closes for today, but please visit our social media pages. We are just a click away. You may also download our app to be notified of our latest stories and features. Don't forget to give us a like or leave a comment on our pages. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On Point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I'm Butch Hendrickson. You're watching BATV, serious about business.
Jamaica's rich culinary heritage has been a source of success for many, and over the years, the ever-changing landscape of our cuisine has given opportunities to those willing to try a more creative approach to food. Today, we'll speak to 3 entrepreneurs who are carving their own niche in our Jamaican food scene. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Well, 689 got started out of pure coincidence, if you want to put it that way. I was nowhere looking for a restaurant to open. I was just wrapping up a 4-year stint at the French Embassy. And I put in my resignation and I was looking for something else to do, something for the 2013. And an opportunity came about and there wasn't anything being done with this floor of the quad. And the investors, future investors, approached me and said, would you like to do something with it? And I thought about it and I did a dinner once and came across something that's piqued my interest, and I said, if I'm to have a restaurant, I'd name it 689. And that's how 689 was born. We wanted a kind of casual, elegant feel to the cuisine that we were going to bring. But when we launched, it almost took on a life of its own, and it kind of took on a personality of its own, and it morphed into a little bit more sophisticated kind of vibe with live music, celebrating Caribbean cuisine, and we just ran with it. We just ran with the spirit. 689 opened on 689, as a matter of fact, so our anniversary is always on 689, coincidentally. It started 6 p.m. on the 8th day of the 9th month. We had a 3-day tasting, and we invited some of our closest customers that came over from my catering side. And it was, I remember the day vividly because all the hard work culminated into one fantastic evening of food and wine tasting. And to see my name on the door, pushing that frosted door that says 689 by Brian Lumley, almost like a surreal experience. It was a very heartfelt experience, but also a very scary experience because now you're letting in so much people inside a place that you're responsible for, and you don't know which direction it will go, if it will be successful or it will fail. And there's so much pride and so much things at stake that it's just, I don't want to go back to that moment. You know, I'm glad I'm past it, but it was nostalgic. In any restaurant, there's a lot of things that you have to consider. The right staffing, the right location, and not only pay attention to great customer service and hospitality, but you have to consider the work around the back. And the back work is what takes up a lot of the construction of a restaurant, if you want to say, because you have to analyze your food costs, you have to analyze your staff inputs, your expenditures, your suppliers, you have to organize a lot of these things, and you have to get them on a timely basis. So the strategy for the restaurant is very important to sit down and hash out before you start in a restaurant. The startup cost, I'd say between $3 and $6 million. It's a few millions because we re-gutted the place. Thanks to Thai Flora, they did an amazing job and helped us with the decor and kind of shed some of the decor costs. But a lot of the costs went into the POS systems, the training of the staff, the kitchen equipment. We had to reorganize the place because before, the prior owners was Christopher's, a popular jazz lounge here. And it was designed for cocktails and a bar. So the kitchen was not equipped to do gourmet food, for example. So we had to kind of restructure that aspect a little bit and purchase some new equipment in order to facilitate our menu. You have to be able to see what menu items are not performing, what are your major profits from these menu items. Because some items on your menu will yield higher profits than others. We have a POS system, a software that reads out, that collects all the data of food sales for the day, and we tally them for a week. And over a month or a couple of months, we assess. Like say, maybe I'll try and change the menu every 6 months or so. So over that 6-month period, I'll assess what are the slow-moving items and try to replace those items with new and fresher approach. Wherever you see this name, Brian Lumley, you're expecting a wonderful ambiance, a great customer service, and great food and beverage. So we have a bar menu that is a little bit more affordable. It's not too bougie, it's not too sophisticated, it's not too glamorous. So you can have that. Then the other set of the menu is where we work hard and we put a lot of creative input into that. And that part of the menu is your special menu, is where you come and celebrate your birthday, your anniversary, your friend's graduation, engagement, whatever the case is, you have that menu to balance off. And it's not crazy expensive, but it's special. Cheesecake is baked with jackfruit inside, and then we did a little glaze with jackfruit itself. Each chef in this industry will have their own personality, will have their own training background and so on. So you start at that base first, and then you assess your customers and your marketplace. Once you get a feel of the Jamaican psyche or the international market, for example, 689 is located in New Kingston among 4 major hotels. You're not only catering for the local market, you're catering for international business travelers as well. So you have to find a midpoint between what they will appreciate, what your local market will appreciate, and also what is your expertise in those menu items. And that's how we create some crazy things, because we look at what the people want, what we can do, and we bounce out ideas amongst each other. And you create a wonderful world of ackee and saltfish spring rolls, grilled octopus, oxtail lasagna, pepper jelly shrimp alfredo, and jackfruit cheesecake, for example. And all these different things pop because the use of local ingredients are married with international techniques. .689 by Brian Lumley, the 2 brands. When I started the restaurant, and we talked about marketing strategies earlier, the reason why I attached that is because as the brand Brian Lumley was developed before 689, many people at the time knew Brian Lumley before they knew 689. 689 is becoming a stronger brand now and can lay on its own. And you want to have that continuing for other concepts. So for example, I may come out with Scotch Bonnet by Brian Lumley, because no one knows the initial concept that you're gonna start, but they may know Chef Brian Lumley. So anywhere you see that, it's almost like a stamp of approval to say, wherever you see this name, Brian Lumley, you're expecting a wonderful ambiance, a great customer service, and great food and beverage. And that's the kind of quality that we want to pursue throughout any concept that we use. So that's how the name tied in with 689, to say 689 by Brian Lumley. Because we want to start a movement, we want to start something that Jamaica or the Caribbean has never seen before. And we want to keep that consistent for years and years and years to come.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV. Restaurateur Alex Antius and his passion project Opa pays homage to Greek tradition and prides itself on an authentic Grecian experience right here in the heart of Kingston.
I've always felt there was a need for different type of restaurants in Jamaica. An ethnic restaurant. And even though there are no Greeks here, there are just 11 of us, I felt that Jamaicans were ready for a new flavor, and it has worked well. You know, Kingston has embraced us, and we've done very well for the past year and a half.
Starting a business from scratch is hard work. How did you raise the capital to open doors?
The capital came from my personal accounts.
So it was all your money?
It was there, yes.
Jamaicans aren't familiar with Greek cuisine. How did you go about introducing the food?
I wouldn't say that all Jamaicans are not. There are plenty of Jamaicans who have had Greek food, whether it's in London or in New York or in Miami or in Toronto. There are plenty of Greeks in those areas. And I know plenty of Jamaicans in those areas that eat at Greek restaurants. And I know of plenty of Jamaicans here that have tried Greek food before. However, the ones that haven't, I explained to them that I'm keeping it authentic, I'm keeping it Greek.
What were some major hurdles that you encountered?
The biggest hurdle for me is teaching my team customer service. I'm really picky about how we treat our customer. I've always said without a customer, we're nothing but four walls. So we have to give you an experience. It's not just about good food, it's about the experience, and service is important. So finding good servers, good bartenders who understand the significance of customer service, of customer being the king, and teaching them how to go about it.
Opa! How do you rate the Jamaican process to start a business? How difficult or how easy is it?
There are parts of it that are extremely easy and parts of it that are extremely difficult. There is a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy as you're trying to get things done. I also don't feel that there are enough incentives from the government to help people, especially young people who want to enter business. On the other hand, things are comfortable here. For example, if I was to open a restaurant in New York, and like I said, I used to have one in Los Angeles years ago, trying to get your liquor license can take months or years sometimes, and it takes a lot of money. Well, that is not the case here. You can move much faster. So, but I wish that the government would really give some incentives, not only to young Jamaicans who want to open businesses, but also to foreigners like myself, so there can be incentives to come and invest money here.
How many customers are you feeding on a daily basis?
Well, it depends. Is it a weeknight or is it a weekend?
Any day, on average.
No less than 30 or 40, and most, especially weekends, over 150.
How would you assess what is doing well on your menu and what isn't, and how do you revamp if it's not doing so well?
The best indicator is if things are left over, nobody, and they're not moving. But I look at sales, obviously. Our system tells me what we sold the night before, the week before, the month before. I see what's moving, what's not moving. If something isn't moving, I would replace it. However, I haven't had to do much of that. People have embraced our menu. Since we opened, and that's almost a year and a half now, I have removed just 2 dishes that were not doing well. I keep on adding things though, and our menu is getting bigger and bigger.
You have to import a lot of your products, your ingredients.
Yes, I do.
How do you manage those costs?
Well, first of all, it's a headache importing in Jamaica, and it's expensive. I wish the government would help people. For example, I bring Greek wines and Greek beers here because they are not available. And I think it's important that if I'm introducing Greek food to Jamaicans, they should also enjoy Greek wines and Greek beer. I refuse to have a Greek restaurant without that. And it costs a lot of money to bring those wines and those beers in. And unfortunately, that expense gets passed to the consumer. Transportation, shipping from the States here, and import duties are more expensive than the product itself.
You've diversified your offerings here at OPA with a new lounge. Tell me about that.
Since I opened OPA, from day one, I wanted to utilize the space that you and I are sitting right now, for a lounge. Because I like the idea of people coming to enjoy a drink, eat something light for the night, or come out for a drink after they have dinner at OPA. OPA is an indoor area, air-conditioned, comfortable in that sense. Santorini, the new place, is outdoors. There is a deck, there is an outdoor bar. And I really want to give the feeling of a Greek island, and that's why I named it Santorini, which is one of the more famous Greek islands. I really want to feel that part of me being in Kingston is offering Jamaica a little piece of Greece. I offer something that nobody else has, and I do it well, and the numbers have been speaking for the last year and a half, and that's why we're so successful. Santorini, on the other hand, to most people, is another lounge, another bar. So through good drinks and reasonable prices, I have to attract the crowd. So here the product is not unique as OPA. Liquor is liquor. You can get a Heineken, you can get a gin and tonic, you can get an Appleton, a Coke at any bar in Jamaica. So why would you want to come to Santorini? Because of the experience I give you.
How much of an investment was it, and did it impact your bottom line so far?
Well, people think that I've spent huge amounts of money to do this. And the truth is that I haven't. I don't have it. I'm not a millionaire. To open OPA, it took about 110,000 US. When I say that, people don't believe me. But we did a lot of the work ourselves. We were very concerned of where every dollar went. And then a year later, it took another about 40,000 US to do Santorini, because what you see here was built from scratch. There was nothing here, it was just 2 mango trees.
What advice would you give to young people coming into the food industry? They want to open a restaurant, maybe not a Greek restaurant, but a restaurant.
Advice: learn the business before you open the business. Learn how to be a server, learn how to be a host, learn how to be a bartender, learn how to cook, learn how to clean the toilets. You have to be able to do everything in your business, because that's when you're going to succeed. Don't just rely on others to do it for you.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Co-owner and conceptualizer of Tea Tree Creperie, Carrie Quiz Sigurdsson, speaks to us about how she didn't want to become another nameless and faceless spot in cafe crowd and making the unfamiliar familiar.
My mother went to Greece. She went backpacking in Greece for 2 months, and she called and said, there's a creperie on every corner in this country, on all the islands. So let's do a crepe. We already had the name Tea Tree, so Tea Tree Creperie, and she specializes in crepes.
But starting a creperie wasn't going to be cheap.
To be honest, we went a little crazy as first-timers with, quite a big budget, and as creative people, we went a little bit over the top. But the costs were in the region of 7, 8, 9 million for this little shop. We all had, quite a bit put away for a rainy day. I mean, we're not spring chickens, so we had quite a bit put away. We also took out a hefty loan from the bank, and that was a task in itself, convincing the bank manager that crepes were gonna be a hit. The man is like, so you sell shoes and food? Like, I don't understand. Crepe?
Carrie points out that upon embarking on the vision, the business model they chose was a simple one.
We have a loyalty, a customer loyalty business model, and for that we have a great space, great food, great customer service. It's very simple. Just keep it consistent and they'll keep coming back. It is most important that you know what the consumer wants. It's most important. I mean, before all else, well, obviously the name and the menu is the first and foremost, but the customer is what keeps the name and the menu there. It's what pays the staff. They're what, buy the uniforms and buy the food to make the dishes. So you need to know what your customer wants, and not only what they want, but what they don't want is perhaps even more important than what they want, so you can steer clear of things they don't want.
Making a creperie profitable in Jamaica required a delicate balance of marketing and strategy.
Jamaicans are completely unfamiliar with crepes, and most of the food that we have on our menu, of course, well-traveled Jamaicans educated overseas, they're familiar with the food that we serve, that we make. So how you market is to get everybody on the same level when it comes to familiarity. So you make the unfamiliar familiar. It pains me to do things that other people have done. It pains me. It's like you're showing up at a party in the same dress as somebody else. It's painful. It's painful. So it's very, very important to me that any project that I'm working on is completely new and unfamiliar. And that's a challenge, is making it familiar and making people understand it and love it. There's not a lot of creperies in the country. There's no creperies in the country, just Tea Tree Creperie. But now what's happening is that other people are making crepes. When I was writing my business plan and researching, I'm not a business plan writer, but I also didn't have $400,000 in my budget to buy a business plan. So I wrote it myself, and in researching it, every second word was competition, competition, know your competition, know your competition. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as you concentrate on what you're doing and you focus on what you're doing, as long as you do it the best that you can do, you really don't have to. I mean, if you're not as good as the competition, what are you gonna do? Do what the competition does? You know what I mean? So I won't. Other people do, but I won't.
On average, Tea Tree gets out about 40 crepes a day. And with the many options available, patrons are able to build their own crepes with as many different ingredients as they want.
Well, we know people love beef, love the beef that we make. The smoked marlin crepe, word just gets around town that it's great and people love it. We can never take that off the menu. It's our signature dish. People might not talk about the banana cream pie so much, but if I see that it's not being ordered, I push it more, because everything that's on the menu is equally as good as the other. So as long as we market a dish to somebody, they will eat it. It's important. It's all marketing. Everything is marketing.
It's a delicate balancing act to ensure that while ingredient costs are taken into consideration, menu items are still affordable.
One shrimp costs us $120. One shrimp. But we can't use 3 shrimp in a crepe because the people them is like, what is? Where the shrimp there? So we have to use 6 jumbo shrimp. Do the math.
Then there's the labor cost.
I can't speak for anybody else, but it's very important to me that my staff, my chefs, all of them are compensated as best as possible. So I encourage customers to tip. No tip goes in my pocket. It has nothing to do with me. I write it on the receipt. Please tip. We don't have a service charge, but overtime, I mean down to the minute, I make sure that these guys are getting their overtime. Sundays are overtime. I go by the book. I follow the rules. It's taken us 3 years to figure that out. You know, when we first opened, we'd poach a whole side of salmon, and then half of it would end up, you know, going bad, which is painful, you know, given the price for the salmon. So we've just learned how to prepare what we need, when we need it. Instead of doing a whole batch of mushrooms, we just do a few servings at a time, and we've learned how to prep quickly. Yes, it's the key. So we're pretty good at keeping waste down.
Carrie says in spite of the many challenges and the failure of the Mabay outlet, Tea Tree Creperie is doing well.
My suggestion is to think outside the box. If you're looking to get into the restaurant industry with something unusual and unfamiliar, just look around, see what you can do. There's lots of ideas, and as long as you market correctly, again, know what your market wants, know what they want to want, know what they need that they don't have, everything will be good.
Jamaica's food landscape continues to evolve as we embrace the ever-changing moods of our palate. Who will be the next innovator to carve out their own slice of the Jamaican foodie pie? I know I can't wait to find out. Until next time, I'm Amita Prasad Webb, and this has been Cameo.
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canosol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
I'm Butch Hendrickson. You're watching BATV, serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
It's the newest Ribby's Lounge, and it's called Ribby's Ocean Lounge right here at the Victoria Pier in downtown Kingston. I'm Javon Keys, and we'll be bringing you the highlights of the media mingle from last night and today the grand opening. Stay tuned.
Paris Cove. Right where we are was a nightclub that was as exciting, and in those days, you know, the place was jam-packed and people were dancing. They were dancing ska and rocksteady and so on. And so I'm really happy to see that here we are again, but we're not at Paris Cove tonight. We're at Ribby's. And I really want to congratulate the team, Don, Ribby, and Kamal, for really making this happen. I'm really very happy, and I wanted to give the three guys who have done a wonderful job in getting this place up and running a big round of applause. Let me see if you're hearing me. Now, things are going to get even better, because as we open up Port Royal to visitors to Kingston, because Port Authority is now introducing what is called a sea walk, and the ship will dock out at sea, and we'll have a floating pier. And they're hoping that this will come on stream next year in time for the tourist season. And as the ferry is reintroduced, and we have all kinds of exciting things happening in Port Royal and downtown Kingston, it is going to be rivaling other waterfronts, other places in the world. I'm only sorry that I had an apartment in the Ocean Towers and I sold it.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. And so I just want to wish you all the success. And as we finalize arrangements to declare entertainment zones, this will be one of the first locations to be officially declared an entertainment zone.
So joining us now is the Minister of Entertainment and Sports, Olivia Babsy Grange. How are you, Minister Grange?
I'm good, I'm good.
How are you enjoying the Ribby's Ocean Lounge experience?
It's great, and in fact it takes me back to my young years, because this is a space where we used to have a lot of fun. Victoria Pier, Pirates Cove, it was the happening, and I'm happy to see downtown Kingston is coming back to its former glory days. So
entertainment is something that we all want to see being developed in any major city. Tell us, how does this setup add to that thrust towards developing entertainment in Kingston?
Well, Ribby's is bringing back life to our capital city. And you know, entertainment is at the center of Brand Jamaica. Our culture, our music, and our creative people. And so, entertainment downtown Kingston is gonna really open up the city. It's a cultural city. We are designated the UNESCO Creative City of Music. And we are now waiting on our nomination of reggae as Jamaican heritage music to be inscribed on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Site. And when that happens, that will be the icing on the cake. And so, when I see all that's happening now downtown Kingston and what is projected to be done, just the vibrancy and the old charm of Kingston and the excitement of this cultural city is going to just explode. I'm a downtown girl, born and bred in West Kingston, downtown Kingston. And we are used to a city that does not sleep. And over the years, things had just basically stopped happening. So now we're seeing the regeneration of Kingston, capital city. We're going to see a rebirth and a resurgence of activities and prosperity.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to downtown Kingston. It feels really, really good to be right here with the friends and family that are in the building tonight. We've been open for approximately, I would say, a month with a soft opening in September, and today, November 1st, is historic. When you came inside, you saw a ribbon on the front door, which will be cut shortly, and it is symbolic for the reopening of this space downtown Kingston. For a lot of persons who may not be aware, we will be open 7 days a week, starting at midday every day, starting today. 7 days a week, you will be able to come downtown and have top quality entertainment, drinks and food until midnight, and on Friday and Saturday until 2 a.m.
At least.
At minimum, until the minister declares the entertainment zone. And then we suspect we can go for 24 hours.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you all again to the new Victoria Pier.
Done.
Right here in downtown Kingston. Yes, I got a little tongue. Tonight is a milestone in the entertainment industry, as the older folks, a little older than me, would have experienced, as what Baptist said, the minister, that Victoria Pier, a long time ago, was the spot, the place to be for entertainment. And tonight, the brand Ribby's is here with us to launch downtown Kingston right here at the new Victoria Pier. And we are happy that you all could take your time out to be with us and experience Ribby's Ocean Lounge. I think we have said enough, and it's time to eat, drink, and be merry.
First of all, let me welcome Business Access TV to Ribby's on the Ocean. The opening night last night has been exceptionally supported by the press and the media, and I must say everything has been going fine, and the response for Ribby's Ocean Lounge has been marvelous. People have been coming, people have been calling, and the atmosphere down here is superior. Ribby's Ocean and Ribby's Ultra Lounge at Barbican are two different personalities in terms of our decor, you know. So you would like either one whenever you come to Barbican or on the ocean. Come on down, downtown is alive.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round-view monitor, and Hill Start Assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Welcome back to BATV's coverage of the official opening of Ribby's Ocean Lounge right here at the Victoria Pier in downtown Kingston. Stay tuned for more highlights.
But I just want to say, when Digicel came downtown 7 years ago, we took a chance, and it was seen as a big move by a big corporate company to throw its weight behind the capital city of Jamaica, where all the action was. And we did it. And we are very happy to be part of what's happening in downtown. And we'd like to believe that we started the whole movement once again. And so I'd like to commend Ribby's, Don, Kamal, for showing faith in downtown and for investing in downtown and helping to bring Victoria Pier back to life with the Ribby's brand. And so we're very pleased to be working with them and was very happy to come on board to show them the hospitality that we have to offer for anybody who wants to come and invest in downtown. And I think they've done a tremendous job. It's a beautiful location. I think it's going to be many years that this place will have a lot of success in bringing entertainment and life to downtown, and we look forward to that. We look forward to the quality of the brand, bringing a new, fresh perspective to the nightlife fair in downtown Kingston. And I congratulate them, and I hope you congratulate them with me. And please support them and support downtown. And thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you, Ribby's.
So joining us now is Justin Moran. He is the CEO of Digicel Jamaica. How are you, sir?
Great, and you?
I'm well. How are you enjoying the Ribby's Ocean Lounge experience downtown?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, what these guys have done here, I'm very proud of that achievement because Digicel came down here 7 years ago, and we really started, in our opinion, a movement to rejuvenate downtown. and we really have a lot of faith in what downtown can bring Jamaica. So we're very happy to see what these guys have done, the investment they've made into bringing Ribby's down here, and they've done a fantastic job. It's great inside, atmosphere is lovely, the food is great, the company is great, the decor is amazing, and they've really put a lot into creating a nice environment for people to come down and enjoy in the evening. So I'm very happy and pleased to see Ribby's down here finally in downtown Kingston.
Great, so you guys have a partnership with Ribby's Ocean Lounge. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, they reached out to us and they said they were coming here, and then, for us it was just a no-brainer to jump on board to help them out. And so we put fiber down here for them so that they could offer their patrons free Wi-Fi. We've also wired them up to have our TV services. So now you can come down here and watch your favorite sports matches at all times of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here and to be playing a role in revitalizing downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Loose Cannon Tours started just about 2 years ago. We have 2 weekly cruises. We also do charters. We've had a good relationship with Ribby's for that time. They have held our hand and helped us forge our way forward. And now we're continuing that partnership right here on the waterfront. So most of our activities, especially our charters for all the Christmas parties and so on, will take place out of Ribby's down here. And we sail out of here every Friday night. And we continue to work together. As you can see, this is a fantastic location right here on the water. And Kingston, it's hard to believe. 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night, we were down here till 4 o'clock in the morning and nobody wanted to leave. And this is Kingston, Jamaica. Everybody is so comfortable downtown once again. I used to hear about it when I was a kid, how people used to walk back and forth downtown. Now it's back here again. Ribby's has played a phenomenal part in revitalizing downtown, and we're very pleased to be one of their partners, and we'll work to continue to serve together. Thank you very much. Well, we've been working together for almost 2 years now, and now Ribby's has moved on to the water, so it's a marriage made in heaven. We're working very closely with each other. So most of every Friday night now, we sail from here 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We have a harbor cruise every Friday night, and most of our charters will also originate from here. Well, we have a special cost for our residents. For example, Friday night is 6,500 Jamaican dollars. For a Jamaican resident, it's 65 US for a non-resident. On Sunday to the beach, it would be $8,000 for a resident and 85 US for a non-resident. And that includes open bar and buffet. So it's food and drink inclusive.
Coming from Montego Bay, we own Pier 1, so we're on the waterfront. This is perfect for me. Finally, I can come to Kingston and go to somewhere that feel like I'm in Jamaica.
What would you say to other persons with regards to establishing businesses downtown, entertainment businesses particularly?
Well, obviously it's a hit. So I would recommend that anybody that have the pull, that can move people, move them to the waterfront, because it's much better than the congestion of New Kingston and a lot of the packed areas now. The waterfront is wide open, so I think it's a good idea. Let's struck gold.
So far, what are you enjoying the most?
So far, everything has been good. The liquor been good, the service been excellent, music been on point, and just the whole ambience is just fabulous.
So with me now is Deidre, she's a patron here. How's the opening night for Ribby's Ocean Lounge?
I mean, it's excellent. I'm having so much fun. It's great.
So what do you say to other people who might be skeptical about coming on down?
You should be here. You should be here. It's a good vibe. You'll enjoy yourself, trust me.
And what's your favorite part of the experience so far?
Well, everything. Everything so far, yes, everything.
So I'm sure you've been to the other Ribby's. Which you prefer and why?
Well, I like the both of them, but because we have the water outside, that's a bonus right there.
So we've been bringing you the highlights from the Ribby's Ocean Lounge downtown Kingston grand opening. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more highlights.
great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
With me now is Mr. Kamal Banki, he's one of the shareholders in this Ribby's Ocean Lounge and Ribby's franchise overall. Tell us, what does this establishment in downtown Kingston mean for you and your shareholders?
For me, it's a triumph over the naysayers. A lot of people said we couldn't do it. A lot of people said we were crazy to decide to come to downtown Kingston. I said I believe in Kingston, Jamaica, and I want to build another franchise of our original business, successful business, Ribby's Ultra Lounge, on the waterfront. We got an opportunity and we said, well, guess what? We're going to bring our vibrations downtown and build the energy from the epicenter of the waterfront at Victoria Pier.
Tell us some of the challenges that you might have faced in establishing Ribby's here.
One of the things is really that people didn't understand what our vision was. I mean, they were like, you're going to bring a nightclub to the waterfront, like, because they see what Barbican is. But every one of our properties that we will open, I mean, this is the second one, will have a different identity. So this one has a distinct identity, distinct look and feel, a distinct layout, and that gives it identity, and will get the people that it's supposed to get. Host them in the way that they're supposed to be hosted. And for me, it's very important that people understand what we're trying to sell here. For me, the food experience on the waterfront is one of the most important things you can get. The bar experience is great, but when you come down here, you're going to stay here for 6 hours. And if you stay here for 6 hours, you're going to eat. And then you're going to have a drink. You might eat again and have 2 more drinks. And relax a little bit, drink some water, and then go to your yard. But most importantly, we are building an ecosystem of people here that are going to be very happy and very, very comfortable hanging out with us every day downtown Kingston.
So we miss the big man himself. This is Don Curry. Mr. Curry, how are you, sir?
I'm good. They say without vision the people perish. So we like to see when our visions come alive.
All right, so tell us now, what led you to establish Ribby's Ocean Lounge in downtown Kingston?
Okay, we have a vision. And it's not limited to locally, but anywhere in the world you go, your waterfront is usually the center of entertainment, etc. We are on the 7th best harbor in the world, and we had a discussion among ourselves, me, Ribby Kamal, and myself, and we decided that we, as a brand that is established, need to lead the revitalization of downtown Kingston. We believe in Kingston. We support the mayor's vision of Kingston. We support the government's vision of Kingston. And we basically just put our money where everybody just chat. This venture is successful because there are other people who are appreciative of our foresight and vision, and the support has been overwhelming. And I like to use this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for the people who have come here, because we have opened this business and it has not affected Ribby's Ultra Lounge in Barbican. So obviously Obviously, we're doing something right.
Here we are with one of the patrons here at the Ocean Lounge, Ribby's Ocean Lounge in downtown Kingston. Tell us your name and how you're enjoying the experience.
I'm Gabrielle Davis, and this is actually my second time being at Ribby's downtown, and it's like a really open vibe. Honestly, the best thing I liked about tonight was the food.
And what would you say to persons who probably be skeptical coming downtown?
Honestly, I have never been skeptical about coming downtown, but to anybody who might be, I have nothing bad to say, no bad reviews. It's a very safe place. The food is good, the drinks are good, and the crowd is good. So I would say come.
So I'm joined by Shelly. She's another patron here at Ribby's Ocean Lounge downtown Kingston. How are you enjoying the experience?
Excellent experience. I mean, there's a lot of vision actually in this space, and I really need to congratulate Ribby and his partners for really putting together this. I mean, it's just all about the right persons, the music, the vibe, and of course the great cuisine. Excellent.
So far, what's your favorite part of the experience?
Boys, you're putting me on the spot, you know. I mean, I would say that everything really tied in very well. And that's what I would say. Tied in very well.
All right, gentlemen, so tell us how you're enjoying the experience so far.
Great experience, fabulous experience. To be downtown at this time, fabulous experience.
How's the experience for you?
Excellent. Ribby's is the place.
So with us now is Captain King. He's one of the bartenders here at Ribby's Ocean Lounge downtown Kingston. Tell us, how does it feel to work with the Ribby's franchise?
Well, I'm the bar supervisor here, and it's a great opportunity for me as a celebrity mixologist, I might call myself. And I've been mixing for a lot of brands, and it's such an honor to actually be on the waterfront and be the man that is in charge for all the mixes. So it's a great honor. That's all I can say. Big up Ribby's Ocean Lounge, big up Dan, Kamal, and Ribby, of course. It's my pleasure being a part of the team.
As for patrons who want to come out and come downtown to Ribby's Ocean Lounge, what are some of the specials that you have here offering?
Oh my God. Everybody that knows me knows that I make great and amazing drinks. Always out of the box, so we have an interesting drink called Rough Waters, which includes Scotch bonnet pepper, along with a lot of other interesting Jamaican ingredients. So we have like soursop, we have a tamarind martini, we have a lot of interesting drinks. So as long as you come and you just interact with us, we'll give you some of the available cocktails we have at Ribby's Ocean Lounge.
And that brings us to the end of our coverage of the Ribby's Ocean Lounge downtown Kingston Media Mingle. As always, thanks for staying tuned to Business Access TV. I'm Javon Keys, and remember, we're serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
You're watching Business Access TV. Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
They are best known for their bananas, but be it pineapples or coconuts, whichever fruit or food, just know it's 100% Jamaican. I'm talking about Jamaica producers through their brand St. Mary's. Hi, I'm Javon Keys, and Business Access TV is here to bring you the launch of their Heritage Project, which is a national initiative geared towards improving the nutrition of students in schools. Stay tuned.
My name is Terry Carroll, and I am pleased to be your MC for a number of reasons. Number one, we will be having the JP St. Mary's Farm Tour, but more importantly, we will also be launching the Heritage Project. I'm not going to say too much about it, except for the fact that we understand that there has been a crisis. We understand that children are going to school that are malnourished or are not choosing the right options, no fault of their own. And as much as there are feeding programs in schools, these feeding programs also need support. And so I'm so happy about the initiative that JP St. Mary's has decided to do called the Heritage Project. Number two, I am a St. Mary's baby. Not that I was born in the parish, but I eat St. Mary's banana chips all the time. The last time I hosted the launch, I wore a dress that was like banana chippy, plantain chippy. So when I heard that they were going to do the farm that has bananas and it also has pineapples, and then there's JP and then there's JP Tropical Food, I decided to come looking like a tropical banana. Did I do okay? All right. St. Mary's banana chips is the only chips that I buy. My household, my family, this is the only banana chips that we buy.
Every year, round about September, I typically do a trade visit with my team. Nelita White has done it many times with me. David Martin has done it many times. We choose a place and go deep, whether it's Coronation Market or Princess Street or the bus parade, Halfway Tree. This year, we decided we would go to schools with a view to understanding the competition, understanding the pricing, the point of sale experience. We went to a very large, and I won't name it, primary school in Kingston. Had over 1,000 students. Walked through the canteen, looked at the competition, looked at what was available. And before I could leave the school, an administrator came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Mr. Hall, the principal would like to see you in her office." Now, as somebody, as you know, Aaron, who had his own days in school, that was something I take very seriously. And so we went quickly to the principal's office. And the principal said, "Mr. Hall, you need to know something." And I think everybody here should know this as well. She said, "You can give a student a uniform,
You can give them books, a pen, a pencil, a paper, a school desk, a classroom, a teacher. But if you don't give them a breakfast, you've just wasted 100% of your money. And she said, Mr. Hall, I need you to tell your board, Mr. Johnston, and your shareholders to do something about that. Well, it's a tall ask, and I figured, how do we find a win-win solution? But as I left the office that day, I heard the definitive answer, because lined up outside her office were 1,000 students, the promise of Jamaica, dressed up, poised, ready to take charge, and they were saying, and I realized upon hearing that there's got to be a win-win. And with that, we decided to push forward and announce for you today, with the full support of our board, shareholders, and team, in answer to that pledge, the Heritage Project. That commitment, in honor of our 90th anniversary, is to make 1 million pounds of bananas in our 90th year, and we will carry it forward if it works. 1 million pounds of green bananas grown right here on this farm at the rock bottom price, all-time low of 5 Jamaican dollars per pound to every public school in Jamaica. And our goals for this project are fivefold. We're calling it the Heritage Project. Firstly, the Heritage Project must not introduce any stigma in how meals are provided every day. Whether the student is on path, the program or not, we don't want any child in this country to feel shame when they need something healthy to eat. For us, there is no stigma in this project. It is not a handout. It is an investment available to everyone, for everyone. Secondly, the Heritage Project, Minister Tufton, as you have said, must create an opportunity to teach lifelong healthy eating skills and habits. The plan is to make green bananas form part of a delicious and healthy meals. We're working with chefs and food technologists to help kids develop a taste for fresh, nutritious food and to form healthy eating habits. Thirdly, we must protect our most vulnerable children against hunger. We know that when children are hungry, they're more likely to get sick, to recover slowly from illness. They don't catch up as easily from common childhood diseases, and their bodies can't grow to their fullest potential. Fourthly, we must bolster learning. We know the students who eat breakfast regularly have been found to have higher math grades. We know that 9 out of 10 teachers say that a healthy breakfast is key to academic achievement. We know that a healthy breakfast leads to a 17.5% increase in math students from students who consistently start their day with a healthy meal. Finally, and importantly, the Heritage Project must be widely available to every public school, and it must be known to be widely available. And we're not bringing any ego to this project. We're willing to partner with anyone who can help to make this a full success. Ladies and gentlemen, we at JP, we produce about 14 million pounds of bananas every year on this farm. And we know that we have the soil, the land, we have the sunshine to produce 7% more bananas and to make this happen. Because above all else, we have the people, and they're here today. A team of over 200 team members. And frankly, this is their gift. And we want you to see firsthand what they do so that you can thank them. And we can thank them together for what we're going to do on behalf of Jamaica. And this is why we've asked you to join us today.
This is the first of the harvest. This is a symbolic representation and handover for what the Heritage Project truly represents, where it will touch health, education, and of course, the agricultural industry. Congratulations. Well done.
We're here at the launch of the Heritage Project for Jamaica producers through its brand St. Mary's. We take our first break. We'll be right back.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
All human life is precious. Respect life. No more senseless killing. No more.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Welcome back. You're tuned into BATV's coverage of the launch of Jamaica Producers through its brand St. Mary's Heritage Project. We head back to the stage.
It's one thing to hear the call. It's another thing to actually act upon it. It's one thing to talk the talk. It is another thing to actually walk the walk. And the fact that the principal had that moment with him and he took it back to the board, and this is the manifestation, speaks to what JP is all about. So congratulations again.
Up in the hills where the streams are cool, and mullets and jangas swim in the pool. I have 10 acres of mountainside, and a dainty foot donkey that I ride. 4 grows Michelin, 4 Lacatan, some coconut trees and some hills of yam. And I pasture on that very same land. 9 she-goats and a big black ram. That's my God, and this
about the Heritage Project having many tentacles in the health, the education, and as well as the agricultural sector. At this time, I'm going to invite the Honorable Floyd Green, State Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information, to kindly bring his greetings. Please make him welcome.
Well, I am very, very happy to be here. And I really want to start by first congratulating the JP Group. I think 90 years for any company is an exceptional feat. And I think we should give them a big, big round of applause. But I think the story is even more extraordinary when you think about the area in which JP has operated and the fact that they have gone through so many different challenges, from weather occurrences, devastations, to the farms, loss of traditional markets, but yet still you've been able not only to survive, but to thrive and to expand. And I think the JP story is really synonymous with the Jamaican story. It's a story of resilience. The reality is that I know you have a number of different calls, and you could have decided to do a number of different areas in terms of your social outreach. But I think you have seen and you have brought us here together because you are contributing to an area which touches on education, touches on health, touches on agriculture, but more importantly, which really will secure the heritage of Jamaica by making our children better. So if you know the history of our country, our last dispensation was that we had a school feeding program only 3 days out of the week. And what the research showed us was that on those 3 days, the attendance at school was higher, which shows a direct correlation between our children coming to school because they were now able to be fed. And that for us is a stark reality. And that is why as a government we had said we would put more resources behind the school feeding program. So last year we put an additional $2 billion into our school feeding program to bring up our total spend to $4.7 billion, to move from 3 days per week to finally move to 5 days per week, 1 meal a day for 5 days per week. We've gone a bit further because we polled our schools to see what was the difficulty in offering a school feeding program. And a number of them said we had challenges paying for our chefs. And as such, this year the government has taken on the responsibility to pay for all the chefs in our public schools. We now pay for over 1,000 chefs across our public schools. We also recognize that one of the challenges was the kitchen space. And as such, we have been on a 2-year drive to improve the kitchens of our schools. This year we're spending over $200 million to improve our kitchens across our public schools. So we have taken significant steps, but quite frankly, still not enough. I think all of us would not only want to provide 1 meal per day, but we would want to have a school feeding program that is able to provide breakfast and lunch. And the only way we can achieve that is through partnership. And that is why I truly applaud and welcome this move by JP. And I can tell you, I speak on behalf of the ministry, but also on behalf of the schools and on behalf of our children, that we welcome this move. And that this is a game-changing move to really strengthen our school feeding program. And there's another element that I think this project does. Not only will it allow us to expand the reach of our school feeding program, we have been grappling with for a long time as a country, how can we get more nutritious products into the hands of our children? So it's one thing to be able to provide lunch, but the other issue, which I'm sure Dr. Tufton will speak to, is what do you provide? Is what you are providing really helping the children in terms of their health, in terms of their nutrition? And the good thing with this project is that there's no question that putting green banana into our menus will provide a nutritious, healthy solution for our children. Plus, it will provide a product which is Jamaican. And we have been again grappling with how can we ensure that in our school feeding program, we're eating what we actually grow. So I think this is sending a wonderful message. So I will end where I started. We welcome, endorse, and applaud this move. We believe it is a game-changing move in relation to helping us as a ministry to expand our school feeding program. More importantly, we do believe that our children will be better off because of this project, which in essence will help them to eat better, learn better, and live better. Thank you.
Thank you so very much to Minister Floyd Green and, of course, to the ministry.
We'll be right back.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life surrounds art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
I will now invite Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, Mr. Jamaica Moves himself, to bring his greetings.
I must tell you, I feel like I'm on very familiar territory. And I certainly look forward to the tour because my time spent here at JP Farms has some precious memories, and it's always good to revisit those memories. Let me just begin by saying I think Jamaica Producers Group has gotten it right. This is a company that is 90 years old, which clearly has demonstrated longevity, and you don't do things wrong and last for 90 years. And that to my mind goes without question, without contradiction. And, you know, if I were to identify two of the very important factors that I believe contributes to that success over those 90 years, it would be, one, that this is a company that believes in investing in local capacity. And indeed, the local agricultural sector would not be where it is today if we didn't have a Jamaica Producers and a long history of investment in local capacity. Very importantly also, this is an entity that doesn't just respond to what the market wants, but a company based on its philosophy believes in doing the right thing for the consumer. And there's a difference, because sometimes what the market wants is not always what is the right thing for the consumer. And I'm speaking here purely from a health and wellness perspective. And so I want to use the opportunity to just say commendations, recognition to Jamaica Producers Group on this 90 years of existence. I believe you will go on to survive and to sustain yourselves as you serve the people of Jamaica and outside of Jamaica. And in regards to the Heritage Project, I believe again I can say that you have gotten it right. in the concept and in what you aim to deliver in this project. We have the data as it relates to our school population, our younger age cohort. And that data is manifested in our global school health survey, a recent one being published earlier this year, which says that obesity levels within our school population has doubled over the last 7 years. The last 2 surveys that we have done, which are 7 years apart, shows an increase, a 100% increase in obesity levels in males, in our boys, and almost 70% increase in our girls. This is very concerning to us because if obesity levels in our schools increase by almost 100% every 7 years, then one can imagine where we will be over time in terms of premature illness, premature deaths, impact on productivity, impact on development, and I could go on and on. So the reality is that from a public health, from a health and wellness perspective, we have a duty, we have an obligation to respond to this challenge that we face among this younger age cohort, the future generation of our country. And part of that approach, and we've been discussing that with the Ministry of Education, been discussing it with the Minister of Agriculture, is to change the lifestyle and the behavior of our young people, starting on the school compounds, but also over time, hopefully develop a different approach even as they grow and mature into adulthood. And that change in lifestyle basically comprises 2 very important things. One, get them to improve and increase their physical activity. And in the days when we were young, we used to run up and down and play all over the place. Today, children are stuck on the technology, the iPads, the phones, the computers, and they live a sedentary lifestyle. They are not as active as they used to be. So the physical activity component, and we're working on that with the Ministry of Education. But secondly, and perhaps even more importantly, and this is where the Heritage Project for us is a big win, nutrition. Now, Jeffrey spoke about hunger, and there is an element of that in the school system, as reflected by the principal whom he had discussions with. But a bigger problem in our school system is improper nutrition based on what the kids eat, whether at home, on the streets, and indeed on the school compound, based on what is available to them. And if we are to change that, we're going to have to do a couple of things. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health are working together to develop a nutrition policy, which early in the new year will become the policy to guide the options that are available to the students. But very importantly, combined should capture a more balanced diet in order to enhance the nutritional content of our young people. From that perspective, the Heritage Project fits very nicely because for one, Jeffrey, you're promoting a product that is fresh as opposed to processed and stored. You're promoting a product that is nutritious and frankly speaking is familiar to all of us. All of us would have tasted and experienced the taste of green bananas. We're going to have to be creative, which you are working on in terms of your chefs and nutritionists in putting the product together in different formats. And I would encourage you to let the schools also be a part of that process, into some competition of sorts, because our children are quite creative. And each school has a home economic department. If they are sufficiently incentivized, even with recognition alone, I believe you'll see some amazing creative displays which ultimately can become mainstreamed in institutions. But all combined, what the Heritage Project will do is provide an affordable option in terms of the product that you're offering to tap into what is not a luxury, but a necessity, the enhancing of the nutritional content for our young people to support the challenge, overcoming the challenges of obesity. So we look forward to that. We want to be a part of that in the Ministry of Health. We endorse this project as a result of that. And I don't want to say much, but Jeffrey and I and the team that is involved with the Jamaica Moves program are working together, having discussions, and in the new year, you will hear some finer details as it relates to the Heritage Project and Jamaica Moves in Schools, which we will launch come early January.
We'll be right back.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we knock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back. You're tuned into BATV's coverage of the launch of Jamaica Producers through its brand St. Mary's Heritage Project.
I'm almost overwhelmed at the potential of this project. Not just for the project itself, but the inspiration that it can provide on a wider scale to include every small farmer in this country, which numbers almost 240,000 people. It's the largest single employment group in the country. Feeding our children, nutrition, with what we grow, is a prosperity plan. And indeed, we need to. Because in the 1960s, there were 2 other countries that were pretty close to our level of growth. Singapore and Israel. Today, Singapore, that is the size of Hanover, one parish, their per capita income is 60,000 United States dollars per person. In Israel, that is surrounded by desert land, they have to extract salt water from the sea to irrigate agricultural land. And the level of agriculture there, Charlie tells me he's been there 3 times. And even at one time, I believe, had an Israeli citizen here working with you, bringing in that technology. Their per capita income in Israel today is 40,000 United States dollars. You know what ours is? Less than 6,000 United States dollars. So, moving from poverty to prosperity, with the vast acreages of arable, idle land that we have in this country, moving from poverty to prosperity must no longer be a slogan. It has to be a way of life. And we have a lot of catching up to do, and very fast. This has been an extraordinary week for me, outside of opening my clinic with Dr. Tufton. I met with a young man, a Jamaican, 35 years old, who is a nutritionist and has made it his mission to encourage and promote eating Jamaican food. His name is Peter Ivy, and he has formed a company called Mission Food Possible. You hear the name? Mission Food Possible. One of the things he showed me was a list of foods produced in Jamaica, including banana, pumpkin, sweet potato, right down the line. And guess what? The nutritional value of every one of them was better than the imported flour and the imported rice. Every one of them without exception. Then the second one we had this week was the launching at the Ministry of Agriculture, RADA offices, a tourism agri-linkages exchange program. It is a program that is designed to connect our farmers across the country with the value chain and food chain going into the tourism industry. Because far too much of the food our tourists are eating are literally flying in on the planes with them, while we have idle lands and idle hands. Then, the final project I want to mention to you, which is very much, this launch today can be seen as the hub and the beginning of that process. An ambitious plan that we have to feed all our children in schools. Feed them. Right now, 80% of what our children eat is imported. Can you imagine that? And a lot of it is basically flour, rice, and bag juice. You know what I'm talking about. Sugar and water. That's it. Flour, rice, sugar, and water. Unacceptable is what my 9-year-old daughter would say. Unacceptable. When Jamaica, that is far more blessed with rainfall and land, arable land, than Israel, where they have mango orchards in Israel, why aren't we having a whole heap of mango orchards in Jamaica? And instead of our children drinking bag juice, them drink mango juice. Or mango nectar, whatever. Why don't we have more citrus groves planted? Lots of questions we have to answer. And because of the position that I'm in, I have to face those questions frontally. $5 a pound for banana, which is more nutritious than imported flour. The market price for the bananas is $25 a pound. And we're getting it for our schools from JP for $5 a pound. Minister of Education, please advise your minister, and you and him agree, to send a message to all schools that this is not optional. This is not an option. They must embrace this opportunity for our children.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
So we've heard from the speakers at the official launch of the Heritage Project by Jamaica Producers through its brand St. Mary's. Now it's time to head to the farm. Let's go. Tell us, Ms. Goldburn, how did this idea come about?
Well, as you know, Jamaica Producers has been in the farming business for 89 years. In April next year, we actually celebrate our 90th anniversary. And so we wanted a project that would make an impact, a project that was bold. Every year we actually go to the different channels that we serve and we take a look and we look at what's happening. And so this year we decided to actually visit some of the schools. And so as early as September this year, we went into a few schools and we took a look and we wanted to understand what was happening. And we really saw that there was a need for us to create a program where every child must be fed. And so we sat down, we conceptualized, and we thought, we're in the business of farming. It is our core business that we do. In celebration of 90 years, why not make bananas available to every single child in Jamaica?
And certainly an idea that I'm sure will take on. But how has the support from schools been so far? Have schools expressed interest in being a part of the program so far?
Well, today is actually the launch of the project, meaning that we have already gotten our partners on board. We have the support of the Ministry of Education, we have the support of the Ministry of Health, and of course, we couldn't do this without the Ministry of Agriculture. And so all three ministers were actually here today in support of the project. We actually began this project in January 2019, and that's when we'll actually do our first deliveries for this project. What we've been doing now is really going out, calling these schools, and I mean, we have over 20 schools that have expressed interest, that have already signed on to the project. And I think this is really phenomenal because we are now looking to corporate entities to say that we will partner with you. We don't have a problem partnering with any corporate entity. And so we're asking any corporate entity, you can sponsor a school of your choice. You know, call us, we'll have a conversation, tell us who you want to sponsor. And even if you want to give $1,000 for the week at $5 per pound, that's more than enough to take care of the children within the school for that week. We have started this project we're looking at it as a one-year project because it's our 90th anniversary, but based on the feedback that we've gotten, we're definitely looking to extend it past the one-year mark.
And are there considerations to also add some of your other stuff like the pineapples and the coconuts?
Well, we will look at what we can add, but for now we're actually focused on green bananas. One of the things that so today we spoke heavily about schools and being able to provide them with the food, but we're also looking to add healthcare onto this and also register charities. So that's the long-term view of the project. In the next couple of months, I want to say later on into 2019, we'll be able to offer this product to healthcare institutions, hospitals, registered charities. So we're talking about Food for the Poor, Father Hulang. You know, they can come in and they can actually sign up. And at $5 per pound, I think the entire Jamaica can be fed.
Certainly, and it's going to, I'm sure, be a big help to many of these persons. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So we know that there are many diseases which may impact the banana plant. Tell us about some of those here in Jamaica.
Well, the main disease here is sigatoka. It's a disease burn the leaves. If you are able to see in the tips of the leaf, you will see sunburn. That is the disease. We are implemented a new practice. This practice was developed some years ago in Africa, and only in Honduras, in my country, they established that practice, and we are doing here. And is eliminate the underleaves. The analysis was this: is when you understand the physiology of the crop, is The youngest leaves are the leaves participate in the photosynthesis, are the more important leaves for produce food. The underleaves receive shade of the top leaves. That means the underleaves are not really important for produce banana, no? But the disease is different. The sigatoka grow first in the underleaves. What we do is we train the workers for count the leaves and eliminate the underleaves.
So how successful has that strategy been so far in eliminating?
We only have established that practice in this farm. And you can see, you are harvesting with 5, 6 leaves. It's really great. The wonderful thing of the banana is provide work every day. We work 5, 6 days in a week doing the different activities like the cultivation activities or what we are seeing here, the harvesting activities. No? Okay, for hurricanes, we have not a hurricane, but normal winds, we have the aerial cable. You see that the structure? We tie the banana to that structure. And the second is the more important for the banana is the excess of water. That's the reason we have drainage structures and we have irrigation for the drought. That means we need to set a farm grow and can produce banana in the drought and in the rainy period.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Our Minister Green, tell us how important is this program in helping to bolster the projects that are already being implemented by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information in schools?
It is critical. I think it's a game-changing move. For a very long time as a country, we've been trying to see how can we expand our school feeding program. And we've been inviting private sector to come on board and to partner with the government. We have already, over the last 2 years, increased our school feeding program by $2 billion so that we can move to providing meals for our children at least 5 days per week. But we want to do more. And we understand that in order to do more, we need significant innovative partnership. I think this really is a check in all of those areas. One, it provides us an opportunity by the pricing of the bananas to get an affordable option into our schools. So that's a big plus for us. Clearly, with an affordable option, it means you can expand what you offer and you can also reach more children, which is really what we want to do. But more importantly, I think it sends a great signal that we can find ways to use our local grown produce in our school feeding program in a way that ensures that we have more nutritious meals and that we have just a better program overall. So for us, it's a positive step, and it's great that it's being really driven by the private sector. I think it will inspire other members of the private sector to look and see how they can creatively come up with ways to help the school feeding program. You know, it doesn't have to be actual money resources into our school to help the program, but things like this. And clearly, I think even this project, the fact that JP is making these bananas available, now other private entities can look on and say they may want to provide the bananas using this for the school. And I think that would go a far way in helping us.
So this is a huge step, yes, but one of the very important things is the education of the students about the importance of having healthy nutrition. What are some of the steps that the ministry is looking at to ensure that it's not just about telling them to eat, but letting them know exactly why they should eat healthy?
You know, over the last few years, we have really taken a strategic approach in relation to engaging our canteens, engaging our chefs. Each summer, we now bring them together to look at more nutritious items that they can provide. We've also been bringing them together to look at how they can incorporate our locally grown food items into what they provide, because oftentimes, you know, if they're able to use like a banana, like a potato in a creative way, then it breaks down some of the barriers in terms of continuing with the same that normally is provided to our children. We've seen a great take-up on that. Clearly, one of the I would say the stumbling blocks is price point, right? In a school feeding program, you want to treat it as much children as possible. So as such, oftentimes you're looking at the cheapest option. The cheapest option may not necessarily be the most nutritious option. So clearly, as a ministry, what we're trying to do is to engage our private sector. How can we align the most nutritious option at a price point that will make it affordable for us to really provide it to our children? I think that is what JP has done. They've been able to align a nutritious option with a price point that's affordable that now can be engaged through our schools.
All right, could you tell us how the schools will be selected for this program? Is it that they express interest?
The beauty is that it's an open offer. It's an open offer to all public schools, and I think we should make the point. In all public schools, not just at the primary and secondary level, even our early childhood institutions, right? So it's an open offer that any public institution can get the bananas at this point. So that is the beauty of the offer. I think what we have to do now as a ministry, working with our partner at JP, is see how we can ensure we set up distribution channels to make it even easier for them to access it. So the offer is there. I know a lot of the schools say, how can we now get it into our schools? And if we can cut transportation costs, if we can cut distribution costs so that it's not an addition, then clearly I think the take-up will be even greater. So we've already started the discussions, and we're going to continue discussions how as a ministry now we can get these bananas into our schools.
Mr. Hall, so for clarity, tell us, the program is worth $50 million, or will the schools be receiving, overall, you'll be giving to schools $50 million? Explain to us.
So it's worth $50 million. Now, to tell you the truth, in this country, like any country, food is a currency in itself, okay? So $50 million is the difference between the price that you'd buy it in the market and the price that we're going to make it available to students in public schools.
And how does that compare to market value?
It's about 20% of the market value, about an 80% discount on market prices.
Whoa, but with that great reduction, there must be some consideration for your bottom line. How will that be affected?
Okay, so for us, first of all, this is part of what we believe in. We've been in agriculture for 90 years in Jamaica, and we're absolutely convinced that in order to make Jamaica fulfill its overall promise for our overall network of businesses, we need a strong education system. So that alone gives us a return. JP is well invested in Jamaica. This isn't our only business. That's number one. Number two is we produce 14 million pounds of bananas every year. So 1 million pounds sounds like a lot of bananas, but it's about a 7% increase relative to what we do now. We are implementing a series of technological enhancements that improve our yield, that improve our productivity. We know we have the land to do it, so we're confident that barring a adverse weather event, a catastrophe like a hurricane, that the farm can add value. So we believe we can deliver.
Well, from a health and wellness perspective, we are very concerned about obesity levels in our schools. In fact, the last global school health survey suggests that the obesity levels are doubling every 7 years, which means that our children are more susceptible to illnesses, which clearly will affect their development, their growth, their learning capacity, and ultimately premature illnesses and death. So for us from the health ministry, we have to respond. And part of that response is the introduction of Jamaica Moves in Schools, which has a physical activity component, but also a nutrition component. That nutrition component is going to be guided by the school's nutrition policy that we're developing with the Ministry of Education. And a big part of that is how do we get our kids to eat more local, more fresh, a more balanced diet. And the Heritage Project by Jamaica Producers certainly has introduced a fruit, the banana, that will certainly tie very nicely into that program. So we endorse and support the program because it is in keeping with what we need to promote as part of the overall health and wellness of our kids.
But speaking about the existing program, tell us a little bit about the challenges that have been faced to implement the program and how this initiative also helps to somewhat mitigate against some of those issues.
Right. So in terms of nutrition, this program clearly makes the fruit, the banana, available. They have made a generous offer, so it's affordable, and that alone gives an option to canteen operators, to the schools, to be able now to have access, affordable access, and it's for them now to be creative in providing the menu and the recipes to make it attractive, and of course the nutrition is there. So I think just the availability of the product, oftentimes you hear canteen operators, schools complain about them only having access to certain foods. And what JP has done by manufacturing, packaging a specific offer that's affordable, it will certainly give the school the opportunity to access, and that's good.
In some schools, the canteens are operated by concessionaires. Is there anything in this new policy that will essentially mandate these institutions to put in place dietary considerations for the students?
So the nutrition policy that I spoke of earlier will, in fact, mandate via policy within the school environment those who are operating within that environment to offer a balanced diet and healthier options. Not suggesting that what they offer now won't be there, but it will have to also include healthier options. So children will have choices, and certainly we will encourage kids through on-campus promotion and advertising and of course public education to look at those healthier options and to show the relationship between the options and their own health status. So yes, it may require adjustments with what is now on offer by the operators on the compounds.
All right, Minister Shaw, so tell us, this program being put in place by JP, how does it add to the mandate of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries?
Well, I think it's a source of tremendous inspiration. And this is something I'd love to see every farmer who wants to get into bananas should come and look at the model that is here. Because it's obvious that they appropriate a lot of technology in how they manage the trees to achieve maximum productivity per tree, right? And that is significant. In fact, some of the things they showed us here, like taking the buds off at a certain time and taking the smaller fruit off and from the bottom so that you can allow the other fruit to get mature and get bigger. These are things that in a typical small farmer situation, the bunch of banana is just allowed to, grow. But obviously, what is being done here is to maximize the productivity per bunch. And they are showing to Jamaica and to other entrepreneurs what we can do. I have thousands of acres of land now to lease out to other farmers to do all kinds of things,
yes, Minister,
including more bananas.
So, and on that note,
because
Minister,
one of the things we're doing now, we're not exporting fresh bananas anymore. It's all processed here now and going away as banana chips and so on. But there are still other countries, like in South America, that are exporting bananas to the United States and Europe. So if we grow more bananas, we can get back into the fresh banana export business.
And that's it for our coverage of the launch of Jamaica Producers through its brand St. Mary's Heritage Project that will be feeding thousands of many young Jamaicans. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up.